Patrick Lorigan's Technical Director at the Air Force Research Laboratory. Patrick, thanks for joining me today. How are you and your colleagues using automation, applying automation tools to the ATO process?
Yeah, it's a great question. The way we're applying automation, we have our full DevSecOps pipeline that we've got out there. The entire thing is automated. So every time one of our developers pushes an update to our software baseline, it goes through a series of automated scans for security, quality, and then also does a series of tests. So it does a bunch of regression tests and all kinds of other things to make sure that everything's good. And so what we've done is processes that historically have taken, weeks or months. We run everything through a manual process, especially on the functional testing. We're able to run those in minutes. And so the whole end game of that is it really allows us to push our software out rapidly rather than waiting on manual processes.
Have you seen a difference in delivery? It sounds like speed is one of the differences that you've seen, but what other differences have you seen, if any?
I mean, speed's one we talk about a lot, but honestly, security and quality are both significantly better. Historically, again, we would get software deliveries, something would come in, we would run a bunch of scans on it kind of at the end, and then provide that back to the developers who would essentially pick the most important things, fix those, and ignore everything else. Because we're doing this every single time, there's a push of software into our repository, so multiple times a day. If something is found, it's fixed immediately and gets rolled back in. And security-wise, same thing. So rather than historically, a lot of projects have said we're only going to address critical and high findings. We can address things much down to medium or even low level, much more minor things because it takes seconds or minutes to fix it. You're not delaying your entire deployment by weeks to fix a variety of what would otherwise be minor issues, but sometimes those add up.
Did you have to do anything from an infrastructure perspective or as part of a preparatory process to prepare to integrate these automation tools into your pipeline?
Yeah, so there's a lot of work that goes into that. I mean, everyone looks at kind of the end product, but in terms of building up that whole pipeline process, there's years of work in there to get it built, to select the tools, to get them all integrated, and then also to get our authority to operate from our authorizing official, which is what lets us actually deploy. So getting all that in place takes a significant amount of time. Year or two to get that all set up. So then our product teams that actually do software development are able to use that, and to them it looks very quick. But yeah, there's a lot of work to get all that up and running ahead of time.
Now that is up and running, is there a maintenance process required for that underpinning, or can you just kind of let that roll?
No, we constantly update. So we roll in updates to the platform pipeline every couple of weeks or more often than that. Security patches, critical findings there get rolled up even sooner. And then we're always looking at new and better tools, how we could bring things in. Sometimes we want better quality. Sometimes we find something that's as good or better and cheaper. And so we're always looking at ways to improve the tooling as well as keep all of our stuff as secure as possible.
Have you run across any unintended consequences or surprises that you didn't anticipate that you would want to caution somebody about that's going through this process for the first time?
I think for us, it's not even really unintended. It's just something to keep in mind, especially working in the Department of Defense. We move very rapidly. It's great to say, we can take an update, push it out. We can have that done in, minutes, hours, days. What we found is that there's not always an appetite from our users to get updates as quick as that. So kind of in the private world and your commercial world, your companies, Netflix, whoever it is, push updates, thousands of times a day. It's great. Sometimes if your video glitches for a second, it's not the end of the world. For our users that are out there, on the operations floors, they want a little more rigidity. So even though we are able to push things and move as fast as we can, sometimes we have to kind of hold off on and slow down a little bit. Just because of the real world use cases, some of the things we do.
The word rigidity that you use there, I think, is an interesting one as far as what the expectation of the end user is. And I imagine that's a delicate balance that you have to walk. Rigidity that the end users want and resilience that the systems probably need and require over time.
Yeah, and that was definitely something that, when I first started doing this, I wasn't expecting. I thought they'd want updates all the time. But yeah, there is definitely, there is specific processes and the way things work, and our users need to know that what they get works. They need to know how it works, and so they're definitely, they always want new features. They just want to make sure they know when stuff's coming out, and that they don't get that random glitch here and there. So all the automation we do does a lot to make sure that doesn't happen. And then we just definitely work very closely with our end users to make sure that we push those out to them when they're ready for them and they understand what they're getting.
That's kind of where I wanted to go next. How do you stay connected and integrated with them, connected to them, integrated with them, to make sure that you are kind of in sync with what their needs and requirements are?
Yeah, so that's something that's different in this effort than I've had in some of my previous projects with the Department of Defense. Our product teams talk to the users regularly, so it kind of varies by team. Some teams are talking to them every couple of days, every couple of weeks, and some of our less, the slower rollout ones, they push an update and they're talking to them. But even there, every month they're syncing up with they're actual users of the software. So there isn't this long cycle between, we got a requirement, we push it out, and then a year or two later, the users are looking at it and giving feedback. We're talking to them regularly, and then, figuring out what's good and bad on the software and how we can adjust.
How do you judge when you make progress in a particular area that is it as simple as the end user says this does what I wanted it to do, or is there more to it than that?
There's more to it. I mean, that's the easiest way. We roll it out, it looks at it, but there's definitely a whole kind of user research process that goes into, we don't just want to give the users what they ask for. We want to give them what's going to be best for them. We also try to talk to as many users as we can, get a bunch of different viewpoints on things and go forward. We definitely had cases where, multiple groups are asking for similar features, but in different ways. And it's on our teams and, those professionals to figure out the best way to deliver that capability. And so it's not just, not always whoever ranks the highest gets what they want. It's really what's going to work best for the overall system. And really the key there is to talk to as many users as you can.
Has the Zero Trust effort that the department's taken on changed or redirected the way that you and your colleagues do what you do?
A little bit. We've been leveraging Zero Trust pretty much since it's been rolling out within the department. So we work closely with Platform One, who has been kind of a pathfinder there. And so from our perspective, it hasn't changed much because we've been leveraging it almost since the beginning of our existence as a software development shop. So in that way, we're it hasn't changed necessarily. We're definitely using it, and we're watching. I'm very interested now as it's growing wider adoption, how that's going to change and impact some of us that have been doing it early on.
Patrick, it's great to have you here. Thanks for joining me today.
Great, thanks for having me.